All right.
Hello and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Ash Polson and Steve Bowling, as well as our very special guest, RogersBase. Welcome, Roger. And as we've talked about before you got on, during the pre-show, we have a heck of a lineup for you.
Oh my
because
God.
it is just like all of your interests, almost.
Like
it couldn't be more perfectly timed having
we
you
set
on.
this up when we knew there was going to be a Sephiroth Presents presentation, and I thought, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I know we've been trying to get this happening for a while, and I thought this will be great. We'll talk about Smash Brothers. Maybe Sephiroth will be out by then, maybe he won't be. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, last night, Nintendo's like, yeah, we're going to do a theme park direct. Here we go, 15 minutes of Super Nintendo World. I'm like, what? I got to go on Twitch. I got to set the live stream. My YouTube live stream isn't working right now. I'm going to be freaking out. I'm like, what am I going to do? But thankfully, that direct was amazing. Sephiroth did come out via the Sephiroth Challenge, which I'm sure we'll discuss. And so, you know what? Despite everything else going on YouTube, life has been pretty good right now. I can't complain. It's been great in the world of Nintendo.
I am very glad to hear that because I saw that stuff you were going through and it's like, what the heck? That's just...
Yeah. The issue with it was it was a copyright strike on a live stream of an anime thing, and the difference is like Solo Leveling, this series we got the strike on. It's a webtoon, it's not an anime, and I got the okay from the North American licensor to do it, but it wasn't the North American licensor that was upset. It was the Korean one, and there was really nothing they could do about it, and so it's in the situation where we just got to let the whole thing, ride out.
But, that's very similar to what happened years ago on Game Explain when I did a discussion on the Persona 5 reveal and used the trailer. And
it's going to do it.
I wasn't familiar with Atlas at that point and got the strike, just outright strike, which caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And we got in contact with the U.S. division, like, all right, we're going to try to talk to the Japanese division to release it, and it took about a month, but they did release it.
Eventually.
Eventually.
I'm sure it'll eventually get released prior to that March date, but even if it doesn't, it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, I'm moving in January, and I've got some other stuff planned, and that way I could avoid One Piece spoilers, so we're good.
Hey, and if you want to be live on YouTube, we got a place for you.
That's true. See, the nice thing was I can go live on my second channel, so I already have a backup channel.
Oh, nice.
And I checked with my partner manager, but when I first read when you read the YouTube things, it's like you get scared because then it's like, oh, you stream on another platform. If it's on YouTube, you get banned forever. And I'm going, oh my God, what am I going to do? But no, thankfully I can actually stream on my second channel, which is good. But thank you very much for the offer. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for having me. This is going to be awesome. We have a great show planned. So
GVG needs to start doing One Piece reaction content. I've said
Roger's
this
got
so
the
many
market on
times.
that
I stopped reading. I halted on One Piece because I was reading the big three, and Bleach was terrible to read chapter to chapter because nothing happens chapter to chapter. So when they said final arc, I was like, cool, I'll take a break and come back. And then it took way longer than I thought, and I got out of the groove. And I haven't seen any One Piece content since. What was the island that was half fire, half ice?
Punk Hazard.
Yeah,
Hail
Punk
Fire
Hazard.
Peaks.
Yeah.
Punk Hazard.
And they were like, as the poison, I think, was enveloping the island and they were getting towards the castle, that's when I stopped.
That's right. Smiley and Caesar Clown, you got me. I mean, you have me here. If you got questions about One Piece, you want to do a One Piece trivia segment, I got you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm like, it's good stuff, but it's like, like, hey, cool, I'll be able to plow through it again. That'll be amazing. And just haven't done it. So if I do go back to One Piece, I'm starting from the beginning, familiarizing myself because he does his callbacks. Everything matters.
Now is a good time to do it too because we're approaching chapter 1000. So the chapter I think officially comes out January 5th, right? And they're doing a whole campaign in Japan, basically like a reread. So I am going to be starting a reread once streaming comes back on YouTube and going through the whole process. So if you want to read along, I'd be happy to have special guests. So
I might be down for that.
Maybe that's how I should get into it. Because as I mentioned to you, Roger, before we started recording, one of my best friends is super into One Piece and he's trying to get me into it. And I'm not against it. I love anime. I love manga.
Of course.
But where do I find time to read 1,000 chapters of anything, right? Yeah. So maybe this is the way for me to do it, is your reread.
I know BJ in the chat knows this too, is you can go on Viz and basically what you can do is they have segments of the story right now available for free. So even if you don't have a Viz subscription, you could still read certain segments because they want people to catch up.
Oh yeah,
okay,
that's cool.
All right.
And
Yeah,
to be
Viz
fair,
has an amazing service between having new chapters available for free, and then for $2 a month, I think it is, you get the entire backlog of everything. It's like, wow.
That's what I was going to say. The Shonen Jump app is a steal at $2 a month for thousands upon thousands of chapters of pretty much every popular manga known to man.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. And I know we talked a little bit about this in the pre-show, Roger, but I have to get your take on the recording on Kaiju number 8, because it is like my new favorite manga. Like it is
hands down one of the best new mangas. See, the thing, there were 2 really good new manga that were introduced this year. There was Kaiju number 8 and there was Time Paradox Ghost Rider. Ooh. And unfortunately, Ghost Rider was shut down. It was one of the new Jump properties, but they canceled it after I think it was like 8 or 9 chapters because the whole like plagiarism storyline just didn't really connect in Japan. But the story wasn't about plagiarism. It was really sort of like a take on imposter syndrome. But a lot of people didn't see it that way, and so they ended up axing the series. But I am so glad that Kaiju has remained, and it is hands down one of the things that, like, when we did our Manga of the Year stream a couple months ago, keeps bubbling back up. Everybody's like, if this is a new series you're looking to get into, there's not a lot of chapters out right now, so you don't have to worry about going through like 1,000, like something like One Piece. Definitely check out Kaiju number 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
nice. And actually, on that note, Roger, I have to ask, given that you're into in anime as much as we are, I assume you've seen
I know where this is going, and I like it.
Yeah. Have you seen High Score Girl? Because if you haven't...
Oh, no.
What? Okay, it's on Netflix.
High Score Girl, okay.
Okay, High Score Girl it's a 2-season anime about 36 episodes mainly, not that long, maybe 32, and it's about competitive. Like it's basically about the late 80s, early 90s era of arcade gaming and console gaming in Japan, as seen through the eyes of an enthusiast living in that era. It's like a romantic comedy about fighting games, essentially, and just games in general. And I cannot recommend it enough. You need to see this show.
How have I never heard of this before?
You have to see it.
It was never even on my Netflix recommendations. That seems ludicrous. Wow. I know I've been watching a lot of The Crown. I've been watching a lot of documentaries.
Nice.
All right, maybe it's not recommending me that kind of stuff, but I got to check that out. High School Girl is the name of it.
Yeah, it is tailor-made for people like us. You will love this show.
Live reaction stream coming in January 2021 on the Twitch channel. High Score Girl.
Nice.
Down.
Nice.
I mean, it is kind of intersectional for you, so there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
goodness.
Real quick, we have just a few pieces of breaking news. Actually, at my count,
breaking.
It looks like possibly I don't know if you guys called any out yesterday.
I don't believe we did.
So we have like 7.
7?
7?
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, so for Roger, since you're unaware, every time a new patron joins during one of our shows, we try to call them out, let them know, welcome them into the fold. So those are our pieces of breaking news.
All right.
There have been several. So I'm going to call you each out. Hopefully you're here. Dusk Mirage 200 joined as a live audience member, so welcome aboard. We have Matt Aucoin, who is a Discord patron at the $1 tier. I know you won't see this right now, but if you see it on the video on demand, welcome.
Thank you.
Phantom 23 edited their pledge from $5 all the way up to $25, becoming an executive producer. You will have your name read at the end of this episode. Thank you for your generosity.
Is that I don't see that listed when you update it.
I was scrolling down further. I need to add them because I decided to scroll further and see what else I missed. So,
oh God. Okay. What was the name again? Phantom 23?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I get that.
A new live audience member, brand new to the community, Gentleman Gamer. Welcome aboard.
Welcome. I recognize that name.
I know that name. Yeah,
I've seen that name around. So welcome
from GX's Patreon, I think. Welcome back.
So,
right on.
Beru-chan, previously a Discord community member, edited their pledge up to the live audience tier at the $5 level. Thank you for joining us.
Very much.
We have a brand new community member who is an executive producer. That's Sean Garrett. And if it's the Sean I'm thinking of, I'm glad to see you aboard. Sean did some... if it's the Sean Garrett I'm remembering, Sean did some mobile stuff over at GX a while back.
Nice.
Shadow the Cat, who is relatively new, edited their pledge all the way up to $25 from $5. So another executive producer in Shadow
thank
the
you
Cat.
so much.
And finally, and I do not know the exact translation, but they and I'm going to slaughter this name, I apologize, but I think it's Guillaume Monet edited their pledge from 9.5 euros up to 47.5 euros, easily surpassing the executive producer level. I think that's a custom tier, but I will verify that after the show. But either way, you're definitely an EP, so welcome aboard. And we appreciate the generosity of all of you so much. That is a huge amount of names to read in one segment. So.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Seriously.
Wow.
And also, shout outs to Dusk Mirage, who is in the chat today. And I noticed, Dusk Mirage, that you noticed my Hailfire Peaks call out for Banjo-Tooie. So thank you for noticing that. I
did play that recently, so
yeah.
Nice. and it looks like Guillaume Monet is in the chat. It said I got close. So if you want to correct me, please do. I want to make sure we get your name right.
That's
and we
right.
obviously appreciate your donation. So with that, I will get out of the way and let the show continue.
I mean, we can talk about Banjo-Tooie for a couple hours. I'm down with that. And we'll do Hailfire Peaks.
Awesome. And someone else in the chat said Freeze Flame Galaxy, too, which is another great good deep cut.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
I didn't hate Banjo-Tooie. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but boy, does it have some issues. It's
Oh, yeah. Well, not as many as Super Mario 64. That might be a little bit of a hot take, but whatever. I recently replayed Mario 64 and the Mario 3 All-Stars collection, and I was like, this did not age well at all.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's so funny. I had the exact opposite take.
Really?
I devoured Super Mario 64 yet again. I don't even know how many times it's been. Obviously, certain elements, like the camera, have not aged well, but I still have a blast playing through that game 100%.
Wow. No, because I was obviously doing live streams, and the main one I wanted to try first because it's been so long was Sunshine. And I was pleasantly surprised. I'm like, wow, I really thought Sunshine was going to be horrible after all these years. And it ended up being a lot of fun for me. And then I tried streaming more Mario 64 on Twitch, and I literally couldn't get through it. I was playing it, obviously.
Where'd you get
I know
stuck?
how to play the game. It wasn't like I got stuck with the gameplay. It was just like a grind for me to actually play through it again.
Oh, wow.
Which I was super surprised by, because like I have so much nostalgia for that game, having grown up realistically in like the N64 era. But I recently went back and replayed the original Banjo-Kazooie, so I can't speak to Tooie. But Banjo-Kazooie still hold up. Like, I was having a blast playing Banjo-Kazooie. And so I was really disappointed by Mario 64. And I know Galaxy is not that old, so I'm going to have a blast playing through that again.
Yeah.
But, that was really a moment of disappointment this year. And otherwise, what's been a year of really great games for me, so...
That's really interesting because I'm with Ash. Like, I played through it and I devoured 64. Like, I beat it in a day. And I was really surprised by that.
Nice.
Because I was...
In fact...
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, what's interesting is that I used to like Sunshine. Or I was always one of the people, like, back when it released, I was like, hey, Sunshine's way better than people give it credit for. It's underrated. But when I tried to go back to it in 3D All-Stars, that's the one I wanted to drop. And I kind of have in favor of Galaxy just because I was going to play all three. But I'm kind of bouncing off Sunshine this time, and I'm not. Yeah, it looks great. Like the HD port looks great, widescreen. I love that part, but I'm kind of bouncing off of it gameplay wise. I'm not sure why, but it's kind of weird.
The one through line is Galaxy, though. Everybody said,
everybody loves Galaxy.
Awesome.
Oh, Galaxy's a treasure.
That's why we needed Galaxy 1 and 2. Two very consistent games on the same pack.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I still love, like, Mario 64 still has great music, right? I still love some of the level design. It's just, I think it's like, it is the camera, and it's some of those more archaic aspects are the things that keep me from playing more of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will be the first to admit that I looked at Mario 64 and I was like, I wish this camera would go away. Like, the flicking the analog stick to just move the camera repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad. This is not a fun experience. But other than that, I really enjoy it. And I still had some fun, like, with, you know, I used to try to speed run the last level of Mario 64. And I was surprised at how much I still remembered of what I used to do. Like, my own shitty homebrew speedrunning techniques. But they're definitely not, like, anything anyone should really use. But for me, they worked.
I'm curious. What are each of your favorite worlds in Mario 64? Not to go too off topic, but I'm just very intrigued.
Oh man, for me it's the final level for sure. And I know that's like the weirdest choice, but it's just I think I just repeated it so many times that it just became like this automatic thing that I love doing in that game because I can just it's the only level in Mario 64 I can go through without ever breaking my momentum, like without Mario ever having to stop for a second. And I love that feeling.
Oh man, I think for me it might either be Cool Mountain or Jolly Roger Bay. Both. I mean, both because they're both fun to play, but also the music, especially like Jolly Roger Bay when the percussion kicks in when you're down in the cave. That's like one of my favorite moments in that game. I love dynamic soundtracks in general, and I just love that. And it's just such a great song. So it might be one of those two. Yeah. Although I gotta call out, as you said, Steve, not just the final level, but all the Bowser levels for that. Uh-oh. Oh, we lost Roger.
Oh, hopefully he gets back in.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
He's back.
Did Discord die? What happened?
I don't know.
Your
You
camera's
just
gone.
dropped out.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, you dropped out of the call and your camera's gone.
I was like, what the heck happened? All right,
I mean, your icon is very on brand, though, so...
Well, of course, I got my Jolly
Yeah.
Roger. Hold on. That was weird. Yeah, we were talking, and it just went boop and blipped out.
Weird.
What was the other thing you were saying, Ash?
Oh, I was just saying I got to go with Steve, too. Not just the final level, but all the Bowser levels because of the music. That's such an epic song. I love that. Yeah.
I think I like Cool Mountain because of so many great memories. I remember that being very common in the mall kiosks because I didn't have an N64 growing up, so I got to it later. So sliding down that one section, and the slides in general, were just so much fun and so different for me that it really just stuck in my memory so much. But I like the atmosphere of Big Boo's Haunt as well. There's a lot of fun elements there. Always great to have the boos messing with you in different ways, and I love that they maintain that.
Punching the giant one on the roof and then doing the backflip onto the rest of it to get the star.
Derek, sorry, I can't help it, but Super Mario 64 will never be a memory.
Oh my God!
I had to.
Right there.
I had to.
That's not in Japanese, Ash. That's not.
I know, right? Yeah. I will do my best George Newbern impression. What can I say?
Nice.
Yeah.
Newbern was such a great Sephiroth, but New Guy's good too.
Yeah.
Speaking
I do love
of
the Japanese voice actor, it is really good.
Speaking of Sephiroth, I mentioned this during the pre-show or before we started recording the pre-show, Roger. But as soon as we knew it was Sephiroth, one of the first people I thought of as a fellow hardcore FF fan was you, and I'm like, after we're done doing all this, the first reaction I'm watching is yours because I knew it was going to be amazing, and you did not disappoint.
I appreciate that.
And obviously, as we're all big Final Fantasy fans here, and we all, we all, as soon as we heard the first boom, boom, the first half second of One Winged Angel, we were like, oh, it's Sephiroth! Like, holy crap!
Of course.
I felt bad. I saw a few people on Twitter and in our chat and such. I felt bad because as someone who wants Sora at this moment more than anybody else, I really want Sora. I don't know if it'll happen. Probably not. But either way, there were a few people whose only experience with One Winged Angel was Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts. Right. So they thought, oh my God, it's Sora! And I'm like, oh, you poor souls.
I didn't see this.
You
poor souls.
Actually, you hear One Winged Angel, it's Sephiroth, and then all of a sudden Sora kills him, and then Sora...
Yeah.
Oh my God, the internet would have erupted. I mean, it already did.
That would have been amazing.
It did anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm just imagining, like, for Sora's introduction in the same vein as, like, Galeem's causing all that havoc, and then all of a sudden... the giant Kingdom Hearts heart appears behind it.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest.
The part that really hurt me was that, I'm not a Minecraft guy, so I didn't recognize the sound effects and such.
Same.
And so for Steve's trailer, when Mario was in pure darkness, I was like, oh my God, are we going to see little yellow beady eyes start appearing? Like, are Heartless going to start? Oh my God. And then, of course, it was Steve. And, I was happy for Steve fans, but I really thought for a second that might have been Sora. And I'm
for a brief moment when you hear the little, like... whatever that sound is from Minecraft.
Yeah.
Again, I'm also like you. I was not a huge Minecraft fan. I actually played it for the first time after Steve got in, and I enjoyed myself.
Nice.
Not you, Steve, obviously, Minecraft Steve. But, I had a lot of fun with it. But for a brief second, and I didn't even say it out loud, because I'm like, there's no way this is happening, is I thought it was the Grubs from Hollow Knight. And I thought, there's no way.
That would have been cool.
So it was still an indie representative. It was kind of cool. But Sephiroth, I mean... I'm one of the very few people who talked about how I would have loved to have Sephiroth in the game, and I thought it was a real possibility with Final Fantasy VII Remake. So Brandon, obviously we're all familiar with, that we've already been praising to High Evan, Brandon from Break Room Arcade, is my editor, and back in April, we did a whole video about why I think more Final Fantasy VII specific stuff is going to get in Smash Brothers. And Brandon's making this video, he's like, I don't know if I really believe this, like, I like Final Fantasy VII, but I love these ideas, and we uploaded the video, and every single person, you can go back and look at that video, from April. Every single person is like, this is never going to happen. Why would they ever add Sephiroth? This is so stupid. Why would you even put this out there in the ether, RogersBase? So the day that trailer came out, I screamed, oh my God, I called it. But people were making fun of me because in the actual trailer, I'm like, oh, I bet you this is going to be Dante. You've got, the darkness and the angels.
Right.
So I'm saying Dante. And then I immediately went into I called it. And so all these people unfamiliar with that video were like, yeah, he says Dante. I called it, Sephiroth.
A little bit of confusion there.
It was so good.
I really didn't see it happening. One, because I just
Yeah.
didn't expect a second character from the same series to be in there.
Yeah.
But
especially after the way Cloud was treated with
Exactly.
no two songs,
Right.
no spirits, and
Sephiroth really is a correction to that. I think Square
I actually
Enix,
think
after
that's
all
why,
the years of getting just
Yeah.
crapped on for how that was all handled, is like, okay, let's have another.
Yeah, this explains the two music thing too, because there's obviously been lots of conversations about how Cloud was apparently the last one confirmed for Ultimate's roster, and Square was being very stingy with it. But I do think, like, dating back even to then, Sakurai could have been like, look, we could do additional DLC, and then if we get extra songs and we get Final Fantasy Spirits and all this other stuff, but you get a cut of this money because now he's going to be in the DLC. How would you feel about that? I bet you Square was like, yeah, of course, here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that was sort of the reason why they were moved, is because we were always going to get these extra Final Fantasy Spirits at some point.
Right. And music. We finally got a
music.
decent selection of music now.
The Era
It was,
theme,
yeah.
I saw John talking about that on Twitter. Dude, the Era theme is so good.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
The
is the
remix.
Cosmo Canyon remix.
The Cosmo Canyon.
Yoko Shimomura, the goddess.
Oh, I'm in
Like-
good company. I love this.
Oh, hell yeah, man. The goddess. She's my favorite musician of all time.
Amazing.
Anything she touches, just, oh, man. So good.
Well, I'm not surprised by this. We're 20 minutes in ish.
I'm not surprised at all.
We haven't even touched the topic yet, technically.
That's what happens when you
So
invite
let's
me
go
on.
ahead
This
and
is
bring up that. Whatever. Let's go ahead and bring up that first topic, Steve.
All right.
And how do you feel about Crazy Taxi there, Roger? Because we got a surprise announcement of Taxi Chaos, a Crazy Taxi spiritual successor, which was announced by a team, and they've said they have the approval of Sega, coming out on PS4, all the consoles, and it's arriving February 23rd. So, yeah.
I have to say, this looks pretty cool. I mean, it's not going to have Offspring music, but the visual style looks very, very faithful to Crazy Taxi, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I'm not the biggest Crazy Taxi guy. I mean, like, it kind of passed me by. But from what I have played and what I see in this trailer, they do look strikingly similar. And it's interesting that Sega is involved with this. I mean, they're just distributing the game, but that is kind of a form of tacit approval. I mean, they're
right.
When they were presented with the opportunity to distribute this, they could have said, "Hey, how about we just sue you instead?" So,
I think I don't think Sega wanted any bad press, especially with all the Atlas stuff underneath. I just don't think they want any of that.
Yeah.
But I do think this looks pretty fun. I saw the screenshot and I instantly was like, "Oh, New Donk City." It looks exactly like
It does.
New Donk
Yeah, it
City.
kind of does.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Especially
I
with
love
the
the original
platforming.
Crazy Taxi on Dreamcast. I agree with Ash. I think that it's going to be a bummer not having the Offspring music because that's so much like tied with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the whole, I'm down for it. Any type of new spiritual successor. You're seeing lots of this stuff recently in the industry. You see like, what's the Back for Blood or whatever, like the new Left 4 Dead game.
Yeah.
You've got
Right.
the Dead Space spiritual successor, Yooka-Laylee with Platonic. I mean, this has been happening a lot. So I'm not surprised to see it, and I'm also really not surprised that Sega would approve this if they have no Crazy Taxi in development, because they're still going to get money from it if they're distributing it. So why not do it?
Right.
Yeah.
I just hope I hope they hire someone to go to, like, for the title screen to go Taxi Chaos. They got to get like an announcement like that Crazy Taxi had. As Jared Edinger says, they want to make that crazy money.
Exactly.
I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not expecting a lot of licensed music for this. It doesn't seem a high budget enough to have all that licensed music.
Yeah.
But there might be a way around this if they allow you to import your own MP3s. That
That'd
way,
be cool.
That would
you
be
can
pretty
have you can have Offspring in it. Because, like Steve, I've not really played Crazy Taxi a whole lot. I just know the love for it.
Of course.
But yeah.
in theory, on the PS5 you could do that because the PS5 lets you play Spotify tracks over your games.
That's right. That's right. You can. I'm thinking back to like Endless Ocean and Excite Truck back on the Wii, where I would upload my MP3s the Nightmare Before Christmas and blast "This is Halloween."
That's so good.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm down for this.
I want to bring this up. Fantasy Thinker Fan just said another really cool spiritual successor is Hot Shot Racing, and yes, it is. If you like arcade racers at all, especially like early '90s Sega Virtual Racer style arcade racers. Check out Hot Shot Racing. It is surprisingly faithful to that kind
Switch?
of. It's on Switch. It's on all platforms, but I think it was a timed exclusive on Switch, and it's like probably $12 or something. Like it's not much, but I highly recommend it.
All right, good to know.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm literally going to put that on my wish list right now.
Nice.
I have to say one thing I really appreciate about modern Sega, even though I don't think they do a lot right anymore, is their willingness to let other developers work with their IP, or their willingness to let fans make fan games. Like, they are one of the best companies around when it comes to that type of stuff, not being overly litigious about their intellectual property. And
you guys know what I'm still waiting for. I mean, Sonic Mania 2 is like my dream game.
Oh, please.
Same here.
To happen.
Yeah.
Just make it happen.
How hasn't it happened yet? I mean, if this were any other company, I'm sure they are. I'm just surprised it hasn't already. We haven't heard something already. It's been more than 3 years now.
Well, they were going to make an announcement. They were going to make a Sonic announcement a couple months ago, weren't they?
True.
And then they ended up having to delay that because of COVID. So I feel like at some point early next year, we'll probably see something, whether that's the new 3D one or a Sonic Mania 2. But I go back and I replay Sonic Mania all the time. Like, it's still on my Switch. It hasn't left since I downloaded it.
All the time.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I would love to see what they could do with some type of, like reimagining of like the 3D levels, the popular ones like Pumpkin Hill and things like that, but in 2D. And having old 2D remixes of like Pumpkin Hill.
That would be awesome.
I would love it.
Well, not only that, but I mean, given the incredible strength of the original levels in Sonic Mania, like, Press Garden, for example.
Yeah.
Let that team run wild. Let them stretch their creative wings and make a fully original game with all original zones. I feel like they would. I mean, I don't even feel like. I know they would kill it. But of course, they have to get T. Lopes back. That is a requirement.
Of course.
Yes.
How could they not have the person who composed the theme for Good Vibes Gaming? Of course.
Exactly. Of course. Yeah.
Now more than
That's true. I would love
by the way,
with Sonic Mania 2 beyond original levels. My biggest hope is more playable characters, because it was great getting Sonic Mania Plus and having Ray and Mighty in there.
Yes.
I want classic Amy.
Yep.
I think it'd be awesome if they could put Blaze in there somehow.
Blaze, hell yeah.
Oh, Blaze would be so good.
She's who I would want. I would want
That'd
Blaze
be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Have Fat Shadow in there. Put in Shadow in the Sonic. Yeah, put Sonic in the Sonic style. Just like with Shadow in there. I think that'd be a lot of fun. People would go nuts for it. I feel like there's some really fun things they could do with that and just expand. But there's also like they could actually have Knack in there. But they 2D-ified Bark the Polar Bear and I forgot the Bean the Dynamite.
Yeah, Bean the Dynamite.
Because those were only 3D before. And
Don't forget,
2D.
we gotta have 2D Wave the Swallow in there, man. Can't forget the Riders characters.
That's right.
I
could totally see them doing that too, like a Rider's Zone or something, where you were like surfing for the first half of it, and then the second half you actually go into a level. We need this game. We need this game so badly.
Even better.
Michael Phone says Knack 3, baby. We got a Donkey fan in the chat. Nice.
There you go. Then we have for the Chaos Emerald stages, rather than the running around in 3D like we had before, it's the riders
Please.
on a skateboard going down, racing the other the characters from Sonic Riders. Competing.
I need it.
Nice.
Why not? Let's go crazy with this.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. But anyway, now we got Taxi Chaos out of the way, ostensibly. Even though we talked about Sonic, I think, more.
Yeah.
Go figure. Let's go ahead and go into our next topic. And here we go. This is the big one. Sephiroth arrived 5 days early in Smash Ultimate, which seems like such an odd decision because most of him is there, other than like the cloud stuff and the balance update. The only thing Sephiroth himself really doesn't have is the spirits.
Right.
So, what an odd release, but it's nice, and the boss mode is awesome.
It's funny to say 5 days early because I have to imagine the percentage of players who have the Fighter's Pass and are actually not going to get Sephiroth until the 22nd has to be minuscule, right?
Right.
Like, it almost feels as though the 17th was the unofficial release day, because who's going to wait? You know, and you can, and even if you're not good at Smash, you can play it on easy and still easily unlock him. So, yeah.
I gotta say, though, I couldn't. As a Smash veteran, everybody in my chat, because I played 51 times with Mr. Game & Watch. I didn't want to play with, I could have done very hard with, Palutena or King K. Rool and countered and cheesed it, but I didn't want to. I was like, I'm going to do this with my main. I'm going to get through it. And around, take 30, because I was live streaming the whole thing, people were like, go to easy mode. And I got to the point where I'm like, look, you recommend easy mode again, I'm going to ban you from my chat if you say easy mode. We're doing this in very hard mode. And just take 51, we managed to take him down. And it was just so rewarding. And it was fun because, as you mentioned earlier, Ash, it's like with Sephiroth being a guest in so many games before, right, as this super hard boss. He's like a guest in Kingdom Hearts. Obviously, he's like the main bad guy of Final Fantasy. To see him here and add in a boss battle mode for him, and the reward is unlocking him as a playable character, it's so much better than I would have expected out of this DLC character. I feel like Sakurai continues to one-up himself and manages to go places that you'd never expect. And then when you actually start playing with that character in the game, you realize, wow, they should have been here all along. This is such a perfect character to throw in.
I mean, it's been... Oh, go ahead, Derek.
I mean, it's only appropriate we have the premier character from Air Guys.
Right. Yeah. God bless the ring. No, it feels as, it feels ridiculous to say at this point because it's just been beaten to death. But there has never been, and I don't think there ever will be, anyone else like Sakurai in the game industry. And it's not even just the detail he puts into his games, which is, obviously that speaks for itself. But watching his presentations is not only fun from, I'm a Smash fan viewpoint, but also look at the way he's smiling the whole time he's talking about this. He is genuinely having the best time of his life doing this, and he's so happy and so passionate about what he's doing, and that just bleeds through. I smile watching these. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy because you can tell how much he cares. It reminded me of the Terry presentation. This was clearly a character that you could tell that he had a lot of personal love for, and it's just I love that about him and about these presentations.
I love his crack about just wanting to make a party game.
Oh, yeah.
What were you saying, Roger?
No, I was just going to say I love not only that he has so much love for these characters, but also that the way he presents this, he presents it in a way where even if you're not a fan of the series, it'll get you intrigued to go back and then play the games in that series.
Right.
It's awesome. Yeah. His party game thing, like you mentioned, where he said, I thought I was making a party game, and here I am talking about frame data.
Good.
One of the best lines in the whole presentation.
I love that. Yeah. Steve, we haven't heard much from you about Sephiroth yet, man. I know you and I chatted a little bit about it before we recorded the live stream for the Nintendo World Direct earlier, but you have slightly different thoughts on Sephiroth, right?
Yeah. So, first off, Sephiroth is one of my favorite video game characters of all time. Hard stop. So I don't take issue with him being in Smash. I am fucking thrilled that he's and first thing I did when I woke up this morning, because as you all know, I just took yesterday off of everything. No media, no games, nothing. I just took the day away. So I woke up this morning and I was like, all right, first thing I'm going to do is hop on Smash, buy the Fighter's Pass that I promised I would buy during the stream, and skip Min, skip Steve, go straight to Sephiroth. And I unlocked him, I played the boss battle, which, by the way, that alone was super charming. I love that he created an FF7 style title screen for Sephiroth. I thought that was great. And like Roger, I played it on very hard and just kind of stuck to my guns. I'm terrible at Smash. I will never pretend not to be. So that was a challenge. And I ended up trying with Cloud because I was like, that would only be appropriate to beat Sephiroth with Cloud. And I did that, and then it was funny because, I started thinking about, who did I used to play in Smash? Because I'm not a big Smash player. And I went back and tried it again with Little Mac, and I just smoked Sephiroth, completely. I was like, wow, I am so much better with Little Mac than Cloud.
Yeah, that was my experience, because I challenged, I took on normal mode first, just so I'd be able to, show off Sephiroth afterwards. And fought with Cloud, and that still took me 10 tries on normal. Zelda my main only took me about 5 or 6 tries with Sephiroth. It didn't take too long on very hard, but still.
That's impressive, though. Five tries is better than 51.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was definitely further into Roger territory. I didn't count them, but it was well into the dozens of tries. Like I did not. I had to grind away on that. But once I got Sephiroth, I was a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like him as a character. I like his moveset, but there's something. His movement does not jive with my opinion of Sephiroth as a character after years of watching him. Like, Sephiroth ain't a slow dude. Like, he's not slow the way he's depicted in other games. Like, you know, you get the impression that he is incredibly fast. And so I don't mind that he's light, but the combination of him being slow and light just doesn't fit with the character, in my opinion. And so, as a result, he just doesn't control the way I expect him to. And so, it kind of like, I kind of bounced off him a bit. Like, I'm still playing with him and trying to learn him, and I think his moveset is definitely good. But, like, I think it was you, Ash, you were saying he is, or maybe it was Derek, he's all about precision. And I am not a precise Smash player.
That's not me either. I can make it work, but because really you can just default to Giga Flare and do pretty well, depending on who you're fighting against. But
the fact that you can lay into Giga Flare with like a forward smash, or you can run in and grab, Giga Flare is ridiculous. And it looks so cool. The fact that you can double up on the Giga Flare damage with a forward smash and essentially get an instant kill from 0% if you pull it off right. That's wild. Oh, yeah. And but I hear you about how precise you have to be with Sephiroth. For example, his up tilt. That is a very small hitbox and a very, very specific, situational move. And so, I definitely get what you're saying, Steve. It's there's a lot of wind up and a lot of cooldown on a lot of his attacks, especially his smashes. Yeah. So I hear you.
I do want to point out 112 in the chat says shout out to Sephiroth's unique counter. It's so different from any other counter in the game, and I do have to agree. Like, I love Scintilla. That is a great down B.
I've not been able to pull it off much.
I feel like it is the easiest one for me to consistently pull off.
Really?
And again, my fave is Little Mac, so his counter is a lot harder to pull off, in my opinion. Whereas Sephiroth's, it is one of his safest moves, at least.
Scintilla is interesting because it's a projectile, but also blocks, but also counters. So you've got like, all these different things that you're combining into this one specific move. I think this goes back to literally something everybody's been saying already, which is that it seems weird that he's slow and light, but when you think about what his kit is, when you actually play with Sephiroth, especially in like free-for-alls, this character's made for free-for-alls. You could just obliterate in free-for-all matches. But 1v1, I think it wanted his precision. I think that goes back to what you guys were saying too, but it also is that like with the super armor, with all his recovery is excellent. Having the multi-hit on the recovery, jumping back, angling in every direction. You've got Scintilla, which is like this consistently easy to pull off counter move. Giga Flare, which if you just time it right, you get them off the stage, you block, you Giga Flare, and then you just like obliterate them. And then you've got Shadow Flare, which is something that is super fun to play with because if you're used to grabbing a lot with characters, if you like to grab and jab into different combos, you can basically spam a bunch of Shadow Flares, bait somebody into attacking you, grab them, lock all the Shadow Flares on, and then literally just land one smash attack and they're dead. So it really is, it's all about mind games. And I think that goes back to how Sephiroth would act as a character and why I actually really like the way that he's been set up, because Sephiroth would totally be playing mind games on you because he's playing mind games throughout all the Final Fantasy games. He's playing mind games with Cloud. He's like, Cloud, I hate you so much, I'm going to follow you into Smash Brothers, and I'm going to make your life a living hell. So I love that about him. And the more I played with him, the more I really, got to appreciate him as a character. I think the issue is when you're playing on or you're trying to get into Elite Smash, right? And I think everybody right now is like, I want to get Sephiroth into Elite Smash right away. And because of that, a lot of people jumped into it without really like understanding the character. And you're at a point where this is basically like a free GSP weekend for anybody who plays competitive. If you want to go in with your main, you're going to farm a lot of GSP because there's a lot of people in there who don't know what they're doing with Sephiroth.
Right, good point. It's funny. I never would have expected there to be any correlation between the two, but as a Mega Man main, I'm finding a lot of parallels with Sephiroth.
Sure.
Because as you were saying, there are a lot of mind games there, Roger. And like, for example, one of my favorite things I'll do against people who don't know how to play against Mega Man is I'll throw a Metal Blade and then just go ahead and run in past it knowing they're going to shield because they don't want to get hit by it. And I just grab them and do a throw combo. that's exactly the kind of stuff you can do with Sephiroth too. So I'm finding a lot of parallels between the two, and I really enjoy playing him. And speaking of, 112 earlier in the chat mentioned that they were able to beat Sephiroth on very hard because of a lucky hard knuckle meteor. I came so close to doing the same thing, but I didn't sweet spot it, so it didn't meteor him. And so now I've tried 3 times, and I've gotten him down to within 5 HP both times, and I lost. So I still haven't done it, but I've come so close, and I refuse to do it with anyone other than Mega Man first. So I have to keep
do
trying.
It and clip it when you do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I love, by the way, his down stab, because I've seen some troll moves where somebody was like hovering beneath the stage and he just stabbed down through it,
so
took him out
good.
immediately. It is really funny just how you could catch people off guard with how it goes through the stage.
Oh yeah. I love what Maximilian Dude called it. He called it the down aerith.
The down, that's so good.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's perfect.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Well,
I just and of course, not that the reveals are necessarily within order of ascending or descending hype, but where do we go from Sephiroth? Like, I feel like matter, there are very few characters who are going to engender the same level of hype as Sephiroth. So if they go from here to like Rex or something, or even somebody I really want like Dixie Kong, it's just not, people are gonna be like, oh, this is so disappointing. Where do you go from Sephiroth? It's like, oh man,
it's weird, because I kind of felt like that with Steve. Even I wasn't a huge fan of Minecraft, but it was the kind of thing where it's like, this is such a big deal to gaming at large that it's like, really, who do you go to next? And I was thinking maybe a fan favorite, somebody like Gino, which obviously got deconfirmed during the presentation. I know there's still some people who are holding out hope, but I would say don't. That's not gonna happen. That's my suggestion to you. So Sephiroth really was a welcome surprise. I'm thinking they'll probably go with some type of Capcom character. In particular, I'm thinking Monster Hunter. You've got Monster Hunter Rise coming out in March. Does seem like there's already Rathalos in the game. I think Sakurai could go really out there with the Monster Hunter stuff, with the characters' outfits. I think with the play style, they could do something interesting with Monster Hunter. They could tie it in with the new game. And I don't know, that to me, I think would also be a huge deal in Japan with how huge Monster Hunter is. I know globally now Monster Hunter's a bigger deal, but at the end of the day, it's still massive in Japan. Yeah. So I could see Monster Hunter being next. I'm sticking to what I've been saying since the very beginning of this second Fighter Pass. I am all in on the final character in the pass being Master Chief. I really, truly believe it's going to be Master Chief.
That'd be wild.
I think we're going to get Master Chief finishes the fight, is the splash screen. You get the trailer with him in the cryostasis or whatever. Cortana saying, we've been entered to battle or whatever. You see the planet. It's got the Smash logo on it. He breaks out. And the thing about Master Chief, compared to a lot of the other like more mature characters that people think about, is that Master Chief, when you think about what his kit could be, still has a lot of options for like cartoony type of weapons. Right? You've got the energy sword.
The sticky grenade.
You've got the Banshee. I mean, there's a lot of different unique things they could do with him. And considering how open Microsoft has been working with Smash Brothers, you've got the Cuphead Mii costume, Vault Boy, who's now owned by Microsoft, Minecraft Steve, Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, there's a lot of Microsoft representation. Yeah. And they could go all out having that character in there as the final reveal and really shock a lot of people, while at the same time not having to license with a new company. Like, they're already working with Microsoft. Right. Maybe they tie that in, especially if you think about Halo Infinite's being delayed to holiday next year. Probably lines up with what the final thing is going to be. It would work well for both of them. I don't know. I'm all in. Master Chief finishes the fight.
And especially if they manage to get Game Pass on the Switch. That'd be something.
I could definitely see that being the case. If that did happen, I personally wouldn't be. It would be like Bayonetta and closing Smash 4. I get the significance, I get the hype, but personally not for me as much. So
I would be hyped.
But I can see why that would be really cool for people. And I think Master Chief is definitely a likely possibility. Same with Monster Hunter. I've been saying Monster Hunter for a while, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. That said, now that we've gotten a second third-party rep in Sephiroth as DLC, this just makes me, and I don't think it's going to happen, but it makes me feel like Tails or Eggman could be possible. And I feel like either one of those would be so hype. I want a second Sonic rep straight up.
I mean, and Sonic doesn't have a lot of, like, I don't think Sonic got any remixes. And
no remixes, except for the Brawl one of Angel Island, which that was years and years ago.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
Eggman kind of is also the last holdout villain as well. If you think about like the major villains of gaming, you've got
even Wily's in it.
You've got Bowser, you've got even King K. Rool, you've got Sephiroth. It's like he would kind of
Wily's
be the
an
last
assist
one.
trophy.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like he's already in. Yeah.
Totally.
And Eggman, of
thinking
course,
about
is a much bigger deal than, I'm a Mega Man fan, obviously, but,
Oh,
Wily's
yeah.
cool, but
Sure.
Dr. Eggman, he's like one of the biggest villains in gaming, of course,
Yeah.
physically as well as, conceptually.
I mean, his stage would
But,
obviously
yeah.
have to be the Death Egg, too. Like, no doubt
Oh,
about
it'd be
it.
so
Oh, yeah.
cool
Yeah.
with a Death Egg
Yeah.
robot in the background.
Yeah.
That would be his final Smash, probably.
Metal Sonic cameos looping through the back. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I literally just thought, bring in dun 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 dun, dun that remix from Sonic Mania.
Oh,
of
yeah.
That, so, I like that on a Death Egg stage. I'm losing my mind right now. You guys,
That would be amazing. I want Ruby Delusions as a song. Just to be Eggman for that specifically. I need Ruby Delusions in this game. I need it.
On the topic of second, third-party reps, the one big one I'm thinking about, I know there's already 2 reps with this franchise, but I think it'd be really cool to like add another girl to the game, and also something that's like a very iconic character. When you think of like badass women in gaming, you think
Chun-Li.
of Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yes.
Chun-Li would be such a...
Yeah.
We don't really have like a lot of those grappler-type characters, like a lot of just all-out brawlers. A lot of the characters we've had recently have disjointed hitboxes, and I feel like we're kind of missing one of those right now. So an all-out fighter, someone like Chun-Li, I think would be sick.
Oh, man.
Chun-Li
I
would be
love
hype,
that.
although I
Spinning
think
bird
people
kick
would...
recovery.
I think people would call foul at a third Street Fighter rep as much as I would love Chun-Li, and I think she got screwed, right? Because as cool as Guile is, and I mean he's iconic to Street Fighter. When I think after Ryu and Ken, I don't think Guile. I think Chun-Li.
Guile's there for the meme. Let's be real. Like that's
Yeah,
why Guile's
yeah.
there.
I just wish his theme came on when he was on screen. That would have made it perfect.
Right.
The only thing I could think of that would make me like lose my mind as much as I did at Sephiroth would be if Aloy showed up in Smash. Not going to happen.
Oh, interesting.
No,
Okay.
yeah, definitely not going to happen, but
Yeah.
I think that would be like the next big, like, holy crap, just out of left field, couldn't even imagine it happening kind of thing.
That'd be cool.
Right.
I do think we're due for at least one more Nintendo rep. I don't think it's just going to be
too.
Min-Min.
I think maybe even 2 more. I think we're going to get maybe 2 more Nintendo reps and 1 more third party.
Yeah.
Is my
Who
guess.
that Nintendo rep will be, I'm not sure. My personal hope is somebody from Xenoblade 2 because, come on, we need it.
I'm right there with you. I have resigned myself that ain't happening. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. Before
I'm right there
Sephiroth,
with
I
you,
thought
though.
it was. Like I thought Rex was a lock before Sephiroth, and then I don't know if they're
interesting.
going to go. I don't know if they're going to go with another RPG swordsman so quickly.
I mean, they could get around that by doing Laura and Jin rather than Rex and Pyra.
Cool. Oh my god!
True.
If they did
Yeah.
Laura and Jin, whew.
It's not as recognizable, but
Yeah. I think there's 2 series right now. If I'm thinking about what potential first-party characters are still not necessarily needed for one of these that I'm going to bring up, but the ones that I'm thinking about are Pokemon and Zelda are the 2. The fact there's no Sword and Shield stuff in this at all, despite DLC, also next year being the big Pokemon anniversary year, I feel like a Pokemon, especially from Sword and Shield, maybe somebody like Urshifu, who would be a stance character, would also be a fighter, much like Chun-Li. I mean, they could do some really cool stuff with him as a brawler. I could see them maybe during Urshifu and having like a wild area stage, because I feel like the wild area is just, you can have Dynamaxing Pokemon in the background. There's so many really cool options for that, and with Sword and Shield in general. And Sword and Shield also has been massively successful. I mean, that game has gone above and beyond what anybody
not
expected,
loved,
despite
but
the
successful.
controversies. Right, exactly. And then the other one, of course, is Zelda. I mean, again, next year, much like how it's a big anniversary year for Pokemon, it's a huge anniversary year for Zelda. You've got Breath of the Wild 2 on the horizon. Age of Calamity just came out, became the best-selling Warriors game of all time in a weekend. I feel like there's a lot of precedent to put in a Zelda character. And in particular, I would love to see a champion, but if they really want to go with the aspect of, we want to put in a character that has a lot of history with the Zelda franchise in general, you could do Impa or you could do the King. And you could use their movesets from Age of Calamity that would also work as a Koei Tecmo representative because they're the ones developing Age of Calamity. And I think it's just, fire on all fronts.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
it could work as a Koei Tecmo rep, but that also means, like, where's Hayabusa?
Hayabusa, to me,
I wish Hayabusa.
feels like a
I
Star
think
Fox
that'd be
Grand
pretty
Prix. And what I mean by that is I think a lot of people heard rumblings for a long time of this game, and nothing ever came of it. And I kind of feel the same thing about Ryu. I think Ryu kind of started years ago in like a DM of like, hey, look at this cool thing that I just heard a rumor about. And then nothing ever came of it. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
I would love Ryu. Not to downplay him at all. I think Ryu Hayabusa is awesome. And I love the music in Ninja Gaiden. It's just one of those things that when you think about what other characters are left, I don't necessarily jump to Ryu.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, I actually do. I feel like a Gen 8 Pokemon is almost a lock, and I personally would have no hype for that myself, but I could see why that would happen. But I do truly believe, and I agree with you, Roger, Zelda needs some love.
Yes.
Zelda has a good spread of characters, but when you think about it, it's 3 Links, Zelda, Sheik, and Ganondorf, right? And we need another Zelda rep that is completely unique, and I really, really, really want it to either be Urbosa or Mipha in this game.
Yeah.
Either one of them would be so hype, in my opinion, for me at least. Or Impa. Any recent version of Impa.
Impa, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the newest Impa in Age of Calamity is a little too similar to Sheik.
Probably.
Even though she
I
has
always
that
like the original
ninja.
Hyrule Warriors Impa.
But
She was my favorite.
The original Hyrule Warriors Impa, that's perfect.
That would be awesome.
I think the interesting thing though that you bring up is regardless if it was like Impa or Urbosa, Mipha, whatever, I think the important thing about this is to implement the Sheikah Slate abilities, right? Because that's such a key component of Breath of the Wild, and they really didn't go all out. Obviously, like, he has the Rune Bomb, Link has the Rune Bomb, but there's so many interesting things they could do with stasis. Like, if you freeze a character mid-air, hit them a bunch of times and they launch off, or like all the different, magnesis, everything, bringing in the items. I think there's so many fascinating things he could do with the stasis abilities that really whoever they add from the Breath of the Wild universe, I think would be so much fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Breath of the Wild Link isn't really that unique. Like, he's still really similar to original Link.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He has new bombs.
Right.
Yeah, so it would be cool to see somebody that could use runes and stuff like that. It's stuff that is unique to Breath of the Wild. I wonder if we're going to get that. I feel like... because didn't Sakurai say he was working on including Rex and Pyra or a Xenoblade?
Well, he wanted to. They just missed it. Like, the release date was just a little off. Otherwise,
right. Same thing with ARMS, but we did get Nimmin, so that does
that's why I have
it's possible.
hope.
Yeah,
because I want him.
I'm going to get this. I think it's important. I need to get up to just show this, to show how much I am on your side, Derek. Give me 1 second as I grab this off my wall. All right, look.
Nice.
I cried on the day when Rex and Pyra got deconfirmed. I have an Aegis on my wall. All right,
that's awesome.
That is really cool.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing,
I would love it, but for me, I think the 3. If I had to put a gun to my head and say the 3 that I would pick,
it's got really real.
Really dark. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just a saying. Rex and Pyra, Crash, Eggman. Those are my 3 that I think are going to make it in.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
So
the one thing... Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, I would see Rex and Pyra, but I would see the unique slant on Rex being that he can switch blades mid-battle. So he's not just a swordsman.
That would be awesome.
He could just switch to different blades from the game, like 2 or 3, similar to kind of like a weird, more direct take on Pokemon Trainer. And I agree with Roger. I feel like Master Chief would be the way to cap this off, because we've been hearing about Master Chief Collection on Switch for a year and a half now in the rumor mill. Yeah. And if they were like, hey, Master Chief Collection is coming to Switch and Master Chief is coming to Smash,
yeah,
I mean, that would be just...
And it plugs Halo Infinite coming out as well, too. I mean, it works on all fronts. It works for both companies. Yeah.
My dream scenario is, I'll be straight up. As much as I want Sora, I do believe the rumors that Disney put the kibosh on it, sadly. Yeah. I think Disney is just being Disney. Yeah. And it sucks because they're not doing shit else with Sora, What else are they going to do with him?
I know.
But my dream scenario is that Sakurai, being the miracle worker he is, we have the rest of the Fighters Pass, and he is, at the 11th hour, able to work out a deal. And we get an announcement during some direct. Big surprise, we're bringing one more fighter to Smash Ultimate. God. And we end off on Sora, who's finally able to get a deal worked out. I don't think it's going to happen. Man. I don't think it's impossible that his chances are 0 yet, but I do believe the rumors that Disney is standing in the way.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think if I had to choose 3, that's tough. I really strongly think Monster Hunter is happening. I really, really do. I think if we're going to get another sword fighter weapon type character, I think it's going to be Monster Hunter. I think the one after Monster Hunter will probably be a big surprise Capcom character. I'm feeling something like Phoenix Wright or Chun-Li or Dante. And then I think
you just listed off 2 Capcom characters back to back.
Well, that's true. I did. But you think about it, and they have multiple characters already in the game. And so I feel like maybe it's the kind of thing where they're like, because we're already working with you and because we've already done so many characters, like, let's just throw more in. I mean, it just so happens that Capcom has a lot of amazing characters that everyone wants to see in the game.
I mean, you didn't even mention Resident Evil, so we could, get Leon.
I mean, I would have loved to see Jill. I think would have been super cool.
Oh,
yeah.
Jill would have been awesome. But I really think it's going to be Monster Hunter, a wild card, and Master Chief. And then I think in that wild card slot, I would say include a first party in there as well. I think like a Pokemon or a Zelda character. Yeah.
Bandana D, got it.
I just really wish, and I feel like there is a chance that we could get a second Sonic rep. I don't think it's impossible. And as much as I would want Eggman, I mean, villains are always cool. I feel like Tails deserves it as the next to Luigi. True, Tails is the most popular player 2 sidekick, whatever you want to. Like, Tails deserves it. He's, in his own way, has his own legacy apart from Sonic. And I would just love to see Tails get that love, personally.
Yeah, Eggman would be so fun.
And but that would be cool. Eggman would be great, yeah.
I mean, I think the thing is, Tails would be interesting with the multi-jumps. And then I think Eggman would be interesting because they would probably pull a Bowser Jr. and put him in a mech. I don't think he'd be running around the stage. Maybe. That'd be funny if he was classic Robotnik running around the stage.
Oh, God.
That'd be great.
Cool. Or if his mech breaks and that's how he runs around.
Yeah, right. But, I think a Sonic rep is a really good option, especially now that we've seen Sephiroth. And there's potential for maybe another third-party character from a franchise that's already represented. And really, when you think about the ones that have their own corresponding villains, right? You've got all of the original Smash Brothers except Yoshi, plus Cloud. So you've got all the original Smash characters in Cloud, arguably the most iconic characters in this entire game. And they all have their own corresponding villains. I think if you move on from that, who would be the next? Sonic. And so who would be Sonic's villain? Dr. Eggman. But I agree with you. I think Tails is also like, I think both of them are super iconic. Why not put them in,
Yeah. 112 here in the chat is After My Own Heart. Amaterasu would be so good. That is my dream, after Mega Man, of course. That is my dream surprise Capcom rep. It's never going to happen.
Do we beg Sakurai for a Fighters Pass 3?
Lose my mind.
If we're going into dream territory, things that will absolutely never happen in a million years, I'm all in for Chrono. Chrono Trigger. I would cry and scream, and my apartment building would burn down. I see the Silbird stage going through it, Lavos, and the time traveling, and like the frog. Oh my God, I need Chrono, but it's never gonna happen.
There is so much they could do with Chrono and Chrono Trigger stage and music. Oh my God.
Yeah. By the way, Azran, who's the villain to Pikachu and Jigglypuff? Mewtwo,
of course.
Or ostensibly Pokemon trainer. If you want
Incineroar. I mean, Incineroar is a little bit of a heel too, so
Pirate Jake just brought up one of my dream reps, which is never going to happen, and that's Klonoa. I would scream and fuck.
Namco
I would just
needs another
lose
rep.
my mind if Klonoa ever appeared in Smash.
Namco deserves another rep.
Yeah, Namco. It is odd that Namco only has one when they're actually developing the game, and they also have a lot of interesting characters.
Right?
I mean, something that I think would be super fun is if they put in like some type of Dark Souls character. I think that would be so out of left field and so different. But again, sword fighter. It's just like I'm trying to move away from sword fighters with these. And the one big thing I keep thinking about, if you look at the characters that have already gotten in the game in terms of DLC, the one major class outside of brawlers, sword fighters, and gunners that we're missing are gunners. I think we do need another gunner type character. And that bodes well for like a Master Chief or even a Dr. Eggman if he's in his mech.
And he has the Egg Blaster, which he could use too.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we're just going to have to wait and see.
Indeed.
Or if you could do the Pokemon route, what's his? I'm trying to think. The water starter.
Intelligent.
Intelligent.
Sniping?
Yeah.
That'd be cool,
Have a sniper Pokemon character. That's true. Grass needs a rep for starters other than Ivysaur, but I don't know if Rillaboom is the best choice for Smash.
Yeah. Having a giant
Dust Mirage. Dust Mirage put it perfectly. Gunner character. Shadow. Get Shadow the Hedgehog version. Shadow.
My God.
And with an AK and everything.
I would lose my mind.
Can you imagine?
That would be the best meme inclusion of all time. If Sakurai actually did that.
I still think we need an Echo Fighter pad, like a bonus thing.
Yes, give an Octoling for the Inklings. Miss Pac-Man for Pac-Man.
Shadow
for Sonic. Dude, absolutely do an Echo
Proto
Fighter
Man
pass.
for Mega Man.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
That would be sick.
My hearts. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We're at an
I know
hour.
we've gone on for. I knew we would. I knew.
Oh
we would.
God!
This is what happens. You
What do we
invite me
do
on
here?
to
Do we
Smash
just
Brothers. This is
keep
what's gonna
covering?
happen.
I mean, do we just go for it extra long? It is
mean,
Friday. It's up to you, Steve.
I
You're editing.
have to take off because I have a dinner
Okay.
date with the wife, so I
right.
definitely can't run late today.
So how long is your dinner date?
Well, I mean, it's I don't put a time to those usually, but
Okay, so
about an hour.
here's what I
How
propose,
long until
Steve.
your dinner date? 'Cause I was
Leave
gonna say-
yours open. Leave your camera running if that's okay, or you can just turn off your cameras. At least have your Discord going, so we can keep going. And
Another 4
then,
hours? We're doing this?
Yeah,
and
no,
then I
jump
can
out.
hit
I have
end
a-
stream
I have a
later.
3-person setup. I can easily switch you guys to the.
Well, the thing is, you're the one streaming it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Just keep you
I'm
around
seeing,
and.
seeing what you're saying. Yes, I can.
That's
I can
it.
definitely.
Yeah, we certainly don't want to get you in trouble with the wife.
No, that's a
Absolutely
bad
not.
idea.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I should have known that we would go long talking about Smash. But,
Yeah. of
With
course.
Roger. Plus, we have one other big topic with him. I am sad, real quick, just to get another topic in there. Because, oh God, we've only covered 2 topics.
I know. At least the others
Real
aren't.
quick,
they're not super
as-
long.
No.
Yeah.
Right. As a Dragon Ball fan, real quick, Steve, how do you feel about Super Baby 2 being in Fighters?
yeah, let me. So, Super Baby 2 is a weird choice. I mean, like,
Yeah.
GT is obviously like the black sheep of the Dragon Ball fandom. Like, there's not a lot of love for GT, but I mean, I will say that after Goku became Super Saiyan 4, like that's when GT kind of picked up, at least, because prior to that, GT was a lot of nonsense. And then it started to veer back into like the Dragon Ball Z vibe of like, just fights and progressively stronger villains and new forms and transformations. And Vegeta Baby is the coolest villain in all of GT, in my opinion. Like the dragons after that, Super 17
Omega
is kind of a cool idea,
Shenron,
too.
people talking about him, but
Yeah.
he's shown up so much. Super
Here's-
Baby 2 at least feels unique.
Here's my issue with this design, right? Like, I think this is the most boring form Vegeta Baby ever took. Like, there's an in-between form that everybody ignores where he still looks a lot like Vegeta, but he kind of has these like wings coming out of his shoulders. He looks like Vegeta, but Super Baby 2 looks like unrecognizable if you're not familiar with Dragon Ball history. Like, if you don't know Dragon Ball intimately, you have no clue who the hell this is. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
people that picked up Fighters are going to be like, what is this? Like, who even is this dude?
I mean, I can raise my hand there. I really like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, but I just gave it away. The vast majority of my knowledge about Dragon Ball begins and ends with Z and a little bit
Yeah.
of the original. So I saw Super Baby 2 researching this story, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I have no
they
idea.
don't even put Vegeta in his name, which I mean,
Yeah,
is also
I had
a
no
travesty.
idea he was
Yeah.
Vegeta.
Yeah, this is like
it's
Vegeta
the exact same
taking over.
situation where I obviously I like Dragon Ball Z, like the base most generic version of Dragon Ball Z that you've seen in all the different games and stuff, but I don't
Yeah.
really know anything beyond that. So I heard Super Baby 2 and I was like, is this like a giant baby that appears in like a filler
Same.
episode?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
So let me run it down for the folks in the chat that aren't super familiar with GT. So the best arc in all of GT, and that's not a high bar to clear, but the best arc in all of GT. Oh, it looks okay. Roger's back. Okay, so,
There we go. Happened again.
the best arc in Dragon Ball GT is the Baby Vegeta arc, and what this is so if you remember, if you're real up on your Dragon Ball lore, I'm about to go deep, but
Oh, I know you're going to go deep.
yeah, so
I'm here for it.
If you go back to the history of Dragon Ball Z, when you start to learn the origins of the Saiyan race, they live on planet Vegeta, right? And planet Vegeta was originally home to the Tuffles, which is like a play on truffle,
name.
I think, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
the
Okay,
Saiyans
okay.
exterminated the Tuffles and took over the planet, which they then named Vegeta. They're originally from a planet called Sadala, which got destroyed somehow.
Salad.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah, play on salad. But they took over this planet by force and made it their own. And in GT, they claimed that one Tuffle scientist remained. And he had this blood feud against the Saiyans for obvious reasons. They destroyed his freaking homeworld and
Sure.
exiled him. And he created a kind of parasite that he named Baby. Baby can inhabit the bodies specifically, like, of other people, but he's specifically programmed to take out the Saiyans. And he's a little late to the party. Most of the Saiyans are dead. So, he's like, well, there's 6, so I guess I have something to do. And he goes to Earth and inhabits, like, Gohan. And then makes his way over to what he believes is the strongest Saiyan in the universe, Vegeta. Because Goku is off-world doing other crap. And he doesn't even know that Goku exists, right? So Goku comes back to, he has to fight Gohan. He has to fight everyone until Baby makes its way into Vegeta. And now he has a serious challenge on his hands because he's a kid. In the beginning of GT, they wish Goku into being a kid. It's real bad.
It's dumb.
And somehow Goku becomes hyper tanned when he becomes a kid. That's a whole other thing.
Okay.
That's weird.
And GT Kid Goku is already a character in Fighters, by the way.
Yeah, and so basically, Goku has to fight Vegeta, but Vegeta now with the power of Baby, which somehow increases his power, Vegeta transforms into this Super Baby 2 form that you see and just works Goku bad. Like, Super Saiyan 3 can't do anything. Goku gets wrecked. He has to become Super Saiyan 4 to fight Baby. It's like GT's Goku versus Frieza moment, except it's not nearly as good. and it's the most iconic bit of GT. And but that like, I don't know that it warrants like an addition to this game. I don't know that it warrants like this character.
I mean, his one of his specials is definitely going to be him being the Golden Ozaru.
Yeah, it's like, what,
yeah.
But yeah, it's just a strange choice. There's so many better fighters that you could pick from the Dragon Ball universe, and I would absolutely love, like, give me Bulma. Give me Bulma in this game.
I was thinking that.
Wait, is Bulma not in the game already?
No.
Well, she's not a fighter.
What?
Right, she should be.
Bulma doesn't fight. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
at least we got Videl.
And there's no Bulma?
Yeah,
that's a character I know. Put Bulma in there. Come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Every time they put Mr. Satan or Mr. Hercule in a game, like, what the hell? They don't put Bulma in there?
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. BJ Bovia teasing me in the chat that he already knows what happens in the next chapter of Super. Yeah.
Didn't that arc just end? I wonder if they'll bother putting in, what's his name? The Goat Man.
Moro. Put Moro in there. Like, Moro is one of the best things that's happened to Dragon Ball Super. So, if you haven't...
Well, I hear a lot of people not happy with that arc. Specifically the end of the arc.
It ends on a weird note, but no spoilers, but we do get something really good out of that arc. So,
I'm ready for it.
Our boy Goku is better than ever in that arc. So, yeah, I need to. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to see it wrap up, but we got some good stuff out of it, and I'm deeply curious where Dragon Ball goes from here because they set Goku up to be like too strong. I don't know how he gets a challenge anymore, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he never was able to beat Beerus, right? I never saw that movie, but he was never.
Oh
my God, Doggo!
We got Puppy.
Oh my God,
Doggo!
I heard barking
but yeah,
in the background.
Goku was never
able
to beat Beerus, but at the same time, like, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers because I know not everybody is up on like the latest chapter, right? But it's like, I don't know that Beerus could really put up like a super great challenge to Goku at this point. Like, it would be really amazing if Beerus could. I mean, because even Beerus, like in one of the chapters, is like, damn, while he's watching Goku fight. So it's real good stuff. It's one of my favorite chapters of all time. But the closure of the Moro arc is really weird. And Brandon in the chat is teasing me since he knows what
They have a hard time closing arcs because I heard the Goku Black arc ended stupidly as well.
Oh, God. Okay, hold. The Goku Black arc is one of the worst manga arcs in all of manga. Like, it's not just a bad Dragon Ball arc. It is just a bad manga arc in general. Like, it is the equivalent of like a shitty dream sequence from a soap opera. But it is
that bad, huh?
Dude, it's one of the worst stories I've ever experienced in any medium.
Wow.
All right.
I thought you guys were good vibes, though. I thought this was vibes only.
Yeah, you can't bring up the Zamasu / Goku Black arc and expect me to exude good vibes anymore. That's a major
teasing. I'm only teasing. I could talk about all the terrible One Piece filler arcs. I'm good.
The other part of this news story that we won't spend nearly as long on is the fact that Dan Hibiki is coming out in February 2021 for Street Fighter V. That is
very cool.
First Season 5 DLC character. And the fact that Dan wasn't already in this game is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it's strange.
It's Dan. For this, I will come back to SF5 for Dan.
Nice. Gaduken.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
We still don't know who the fifth character is. We know Akira from Rival Schools is number 4, which is awesome because
that is
hell
really
yeah,
cool.
Rival Schools. But who's number 5? We don't know yet. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Have they added Crimson Viper yet?
No.
No
Why?
Sea Viper. Right? Why?
Crimson Viper.
lot
And
of
no
big
Elena yet.
SF4
Which
characters.
I'm a big fan of Elena.
Elena's
no Elena.
awesome too.
Yeah.
I want either of those.
Yeah, I am down for that as well. I would love to see Elena in Street Fighter V. She's one of my favorite SF3 characters. Did Ibuki make it into 5?
Yeah, she was one of the originals.
She did.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, yeah. Got my girl Ibuki, get Elena in there. I'm good.
Steve, how much more time do you have? Because I want to get your reaction to this other thing that I added before you leave, if there's time.
I've got 5-ish minutes, so let's go.
All right. Then, all right, let's do it. So, 112 will be particularly happy about this. So, Mega Man's 33rd anniversary was yesterday. Happy birthday, Mega Man.
Mega Man.
And as part of the celebration, they released a bunch of the Mega Man soundtracks on Steam. But the bigger deal here to me is that they announced 2 new manga series for Mega Man's 33rd anniversary.
Wow.
And a brand new album, a brand new music album. But get this, this comes from Silicon Era. And I'm going to read the paragraph verbatim because the new manga, this sounds wild. So there are 2 new ones, Rockman-chan and Rockman-san. Rockman-chan will depict a gag story where a young and pure Mega Man nonchalantly follows through with Dr. Light's impossible requests to pulverize enemies. Meanwhile, Rockman-san will tell a melancholic tale where a grown-up Mega Man lives in and deals with the absurdity of adult society.
Yes.
What the heck?
Rockman
These
Son
both
needs to be
sound-
an anime right now. It needs to be.
These
adapted
both
into an
sound
anime.
amazing.
Please tell me it's going to be on Viz.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. They're being published on Young Ace Up starting in the spring
I don't think we have
2021.
it.
Young
It's
Ace.
done.
I'm trying. Is that Kodansha? I don't think
so.
so.
Might
Sure,
be.
but I wouldn't be
don't know.
surprised if my former employers at Udon Entertainment eventually pick these up and maybe even tap me to localize them. We'll see.
I hope so.
But I have a feeling Udon will take these on eventually if they're allowed to. And then there's a Captoon 1 album, which is going to be available in Japan in spring 2021, and it'll feature arrangements such as, of course, Wily 1 from Mega Man 2, but also Esperanto from Mega Man 04, and
Nice.
Running Through the Cyber World from Mega Man Battle Network, all of which are great songs. So I'll always take more Mega Man remixes. And
Heck yeah.
so yeah, happy 33rd anniversary, Rockman.
Nice. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I can't believe they didn't take the opportunity to call it Mega Manga. I'm a little disappointed.
That's
Mega-
true.
yeah, exactly.
Good point.
It's so good.
That would have been perfect.
Or even just rock manga.
Mega
Yeah,
manga.
rock manga, manga
Yeah.
manga. But I love the idea of like a hard-boiled ass, like middle-aged Mega Man.
Me too. I can't wait to see what that's
Rockman
like.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm more excited for than the
series-
Rockman-chan. But I still will read both of those. They sound excellent.
Absolutely.
Rockman,
Yeah.
Rockman Son ends after he's all hardboiled and disillusioned. All of a sudden, Zero shows up, cuts him in half.
Yeah, right. Actually, and happy 27th anniversary to Mega Man X. Good point, 112.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
so
can't
Oh,
hear-
Derek. I totally I missed this. 112 says today is Mega Man Legends' anniversary as well.
really? What?
Yeah.
You want to give
Wow.
Mega Man-iversary celebration going on in here.
Right.
Apparently.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised about with all this Mega Man anniversary stuff is the fact that we still haven't had a Battle Network collection. I know there's like the Battle Network
has
game
to
that's
be
on
coming.
mobile, but they have to be
Right.
making a Battle Network collection.
I think so. And I still
It's-
believe they're working
it's
on
so
X9.
popular,
I have to
too.
believe that.
Yeah. Well, I know there were so
Yeah.
many news stories about things leaking from Capcom that I scrounged through them, admittedly, to look for Battle Network anything. And the fact that there wasn't made me very upset.
I mean,
Oh,
not
man.
everything was in there, so it still
Yeah,
might
that's
exist.
true. We know there was
Maybe.
stuff missing.
That's
so,
true. That's
yeah.
true.
I agree. We need a Rockman EXE collection real bad.
Yeah.
Like I would,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
be down for
Absolutely.
With a random encounter slider or a toggle.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
that, folks, I think it's time for me to take my leave. Roger, it was excellent getting to talk to you, man. I think the only time we've hung out in person was E3 2019 at the
E3
Nintendo Championships.
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely. A pleasure talking to you, Steve.
yeah, man. Likewise. Everybody else, enjoy the rest of your episode. Derek, do you want me to just hop out and leave the camera going, or?
I guess you could turn if you want to swap it over to the 3-man setup. I don't know if that's difficult or not. If not, if it is, just leave your camera going, or
Well, I
yeah,
can
whatever.
do this. Hold on. I can just
That
leave
works.
my icon up and mute.
Yeah,
my
there we
mic.
go. We'll leave leave One Punch Man in there. Perfect.
Yeah, you can have Saitama there to act as a counterbalance to Roger's One Piece.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
And then
unfortunately, I feel bad for whoever's going to edit this because there's definitely dog barking in the background of my
that's
recording. So
fine.
thankfully, it's separate. You're going to have to just go through and cut it out.
That is totally fine.
Doggos are always welcome.
All right, well, good. That's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry for the long episode, Steve.
No worries, guys. I will
Pleasure
get
talking
it
to you,
edited
Steve.
tonight. But yeah, thanks for everybody being here. Thanks to Brandon Bovia, by the way, for showing up. Like, I couldn't have a Roger episode without getting my favorite Shonen Jump letterer on the stream tonight.
Nice.
But I will see y'all probably like tomorrow. Nintendo will probably announce a stream at like 4 a.m. or something.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Yeah, seriously.
Everything notwithstanding, probably Monday for TNT. So I will see you guys later.
Right on.
Have a great rest of your episode. Roger, nice hanging out with you again. And I will
Absolutely,
see you
Steve. Anytime.
guys. Yeah, of course.
Great.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right, man. See you later, Steve.
Bye, Steve.
Yep.
Enjoy dinner.
Thanks.
Yes.
Will do.
Get a mushroom pizza bowl.
Well, with Steve gone, we're not going to have our usual transitions because, again, he has control. So
Right.
it is what it is. But you get an extra long episode thanks to good old Roger here. So good, take the good with the bad. But let's go ahead and get over to our next topic, which is probably just a joke. Probably doesn't mean too much. But the Danganronpa creator, with the whole 10th anniversary going on, has talked about there being maybe eventually a new Danganronpa game, which apparently, according to both him and people I've seen reacting to this, is like, how? Danganronpa V3 just wraps everything up to a T, and that was what he set out to do it.
Right.
And he in this interview, he said, I bragged that Danganronpa V3 was my best masterpiece because I intended to end it neatly. It will be difficult to create a new game that exceeds it. The voices that desire a sequel have gotten stronger. As long as the environment between myself and Spike Chunsoft has been set up, the probability is not zero. I feel like I may be able to make one new game in my future as a creator. I cannot thoughtlessly say which creator I'd like to leave the project to. Uchi Koshi may also be a good candidate, but I cannot bring myself to have negative opinions, so it may be better for me to create it myself. We will soon be able to reveal the thing that I've been working on with Spike Chunsoft. So, who knows what it can mean? I've only gotten into Danganronpa recently with the first game, so I have no idea what happens after that. Do you have any familiarity, Roger?
I have familiarity with it, but I've only gotten up to the end of one. So I know kind of bits and pieces of what happens in the other one, but I'm not completely caught up. So I do actually really want to play them. Obviously, it's a huge hit among my audience. They all are big anime fans. And so people are constantly asking for me to stream them. I actually don't think this is necessarily a joke. I think this could potentially be a teaser for, like, even if everything wraps up nicely in V3, they could easily do a reboot. I mean, we're in the era of reboots right now. If they want to just reset it with a new cast, why not do it? I mean,
or a new story, or a
anything.
spinoff, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like have something else going on at the time. It's like it's not unknown for Danganronpa to have a spinoff. They had Ultra Despair Girls, so it's four. There's only 4 games, but you have to watch an anime in order to catch up to have more of the complete story, which is wild. I am looking forward to eventually getting to Danganronpa 2 because I think, you weren't there for Danganronpa, Ash, for the
No, I wasn't. I know of the series, but I don't have any personal familiarity
a trip.
with it. Yeah, I've heard.
And
That's a good way to describe it.
really enjoyable. And with the way one ends, it makes you very curious for what happens next. So I do want to pick up 2 eventually, and I think it goes, play order, I think goes 1, 2, Ultra Despair Girls, Danganronpa 3 anime, and then V3 apparently.
Oh, okay.
Right on.
So, I honestly I thought for the longest time V3 was a spin-off because it's like, I guess they ended it this proper story with 3 in the anime and then just have a nice clean no lore thing to go for most people. So,
cool.
I don't know. But might be something for you. Well, depending on what kind of how's Basola feel about horror movies? I don't know.
Oh, we love watching horror movies.
then
She's like a big scaredy cat, but she
you
loves
are
watching
set.
them anyway.
You can play this in the same way you play Ace Attorney. You'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard really good things.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm down. I want to play more. I want to play Danganronpa 2 at some point next year. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I just always wanted to get back into the franchise at some point. And kind of left off after the first one and never really played another one, despite the fact that I know I'm going to enjoy it. I go in knowing what to expect, and all of my friends have played it as well. So it's kind of the one thing where I'm like, okay, I'll get to it eventually. But with such a huge backlog, it's just difficult to find time to play games that aren't immediately coming out right now.
Yeah,
insane. I mean, I have the same problem with Yakuza. That's like I have a bunch of friends who love Yakuza, and I haven't. And I want to play Yakuza, like all of them, but especially 7 and 0. But I just don't have time. So that's like my thing.
I will say this. Like a Dragon is a great way to enter into the series. I think there's a lot of people who are going to say, you could play 6, and it will help to the story, but I think ultimately if you play Like a Dragon on its own, even though it's so different from the other games, like it's not really a brawler, it's not really a beat 'em up, it's an RPG. It is an RPG. It's just straight up, it's an RPG.
Yeah. Turn-based,
I think you're going to love it. Yeah.
I really want to play it. Everything I've seen about it and Yakuza in general just suggests to me that I would adore this series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking at my backlog, just for recent games, it's Doom, it's Horizon, it's Yakuza like Ash, it's Nier Automata.
You haven't played Nier?
I played the original Nier, but I've not played Automata.
Oh man,
dude!
I thought my backlog was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Automata is such a special, singular experience, man. You're
absolutely.
What a game! What a game!
And that ending too. Horizon's awesome. Man. If you've never played
Horizon's one of my
Horizon,
favorite
you're for a treat. Yeah.
And Amy's getting on, wants me to play that really badly too. Yeah. So because she watched a Let's Play of it on YouTube and fell in love, and she wants to talk to me about it.
Yeah.
But you can't.
The story is so good.
Yes.
Horizon's phenomenal. And I mean, it's the reason that my most anticipated PS5 game is Forbidden West by a mile.
To be fair, Steve did bring up when he was here Alloy. He wanted Alloy in Smash Brothers.
That is true.
Which would be cool.
It would be awesome.
I once I get through, I use my streams to catch up on my backlog.
Sure.
Right.
But I've also set up a thing where I can have people suggest games for me to play once they reach a certain point. And that's getting close.
Very good.
So we'll see what happens. Trying.
Indeed.
I'm trying. Either way, it's time for our... It's almost becoming a segment for every TNT episode. It's time for your Cyberpunk 2077 update because, of course, there's more.
Of course there is.
Because Cyberpunk 2077 has been removed from the PlayStation Store and refunds are being offered on the Xbox One as well. And CD Projekt Red is covering refunds out of their own pocket because of all this going on and just the sheer mess.
What a mess. And apparently some of the development team are kind of almost not staging a mutiny, but they're kind of fighting back toward management and being like, hey, what the hell, guys? Like we poured years of our lives into this game only for you to completely botch the launch. And and there's one particularly brave developer, I guess, talked about how
I think it's a former developer.
Do you find any irony in the fact that you made a game about corporate exploitation and yet you released this game by breaking our backs? With crunch. Yeah.
And the crunch is going to continue. I mean, with all the different patches and stuff. So it's the kind of thing that it does blow my mind, considering this has been in development for so long. I understand why they sort of hid the PS4 versions and the last gen versions, because those are huge install bases, naturally. I mean, from a business standpoint, I get why they did it, even if I don't agree with it, and I think it's immoral, and I think it was wrong that they didn't show any of it. It is just one of those things where the way everybody talks about this game that has a PC, like a really good PC, mentions, how breathtaking it is. Well, if it's so breathtaking, why didn't you just wait the additional year, have that, and launch it as a centerpiece for why you should play next gen? Instead of having to deal with all this extra stuff, all the blowback, was it worth it, ultimately? Was it worth it? With the people that are now refunding...
In retrospect, no.
Yeah. And again...
I don't think they realized the blowback was going to be this bad.
Yeah. I don't get it. That was a game that I lost interest in a couple years ago when they started talking about some of the aspects of the game.
I never gained interest in it.
Yeah.
It's it looks cool, but I still don't know really what it's about.
Keanu Reeves is in it. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like Keanu Reeves.
That was the only time I got interested. It was like, oh, cool, Keanu Reeves is there. I like him being in things.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what more can you say at this point? But what a mess! Just
yeah. I mean, I have no real love lost for CD Projekt Red themselves because of obvious controversies. But the dev team, though, I feel so horrible for. My heart goes out to them because they're not responsible for any of this.
Of course not.
And I hate this for them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Bad
situation all around.
Yeah, absolutely is. Let's move on to the next one. There's not a whole lot to say about this one, but Monster Hunter World's Iceborne expansion, the director of that, has left Capcom, ostensibly on good terms from what I can tell. It's mainly just wants to do his own thing, start his own company, and see what he can build there. He said, you only live once, right? I'd like to build an organization that can realize the proposals of staff who have something they want to create. I myself joined the company as a mid-career hire, but I really want to build up this young organization together. So he just really wants to do his own thing. Nothing on Capcom. It's just... Yeah.
Cool.
At least
the more good developers, the better.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's an amicable departure and not like the whole Inafune mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Iceborne's an incredible title as well. Like, I loved Iceborne. So I would be super thrilled to see whatever this guy's going to work on. Yeah.
I enjoyed what I played of Iceborne. I did a preview at E3 last year for GX, and as someone who's not into Monster Hunter at all, like I know of it and I know how it's played, but I'm a total noob. I have to say I was impressed just like dropping into Iceborne, never having really played much Monster Hunter. I had my like veteran Monster Hunter player teammate saying, "Wow, for a first timer, you knew exactly what you were doing." Like, so it's a credit to this guy that I can play Iceborne as someone who hasn't played much Monster Hunter and kind of feel like I know what I'm doing.
Absolutely. And I think it's so funny you mentioned, E3 last year. And I took a step back because I'm like, wow, that was a year ago? Wow.
I know.
Like, and I remember that booth vividly. I remember I had a conversation with Commonwealth Realm. We were talking about just like a lot of their stuff that was going on at E3. I think, actually, didn't we run into each other at that booth?
I think we did,
you
actually.
came out of your appointment, and me and Conrad were standing there waiting. The way that booth was set up was gorgeous, because they had the giant monster in the front. They had the logs on the side where they had the live stage where they were previewing the game as well. And it just makes me miss that. It makes me miss, going to E3. I missed it a lot, obviously, this year as well. But it's just this whole situation. It just sucks. It sucks. Like, the fact that people aren't taking it seriously still, it just sucks. Stay at home, please.
Please, so we can get back to E3. Some version of normal.
Exactly. I want to go back to a little bit so we can get a lot. Exactly. That's all we need. That's just...
Yeah. And more than anywhere else, I know the one place I want to go once COVID's over. And that, my friends, is Super Nintendo World.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's pretty much our last one. Real quick, I tried to look up the ICLA where he went to, and I can't. There's not really a whole lot of information that I could find there. It just stands for I Love Computer Arts, so it does seem like a pretty young company. But whatever. We'll see what he comes up with. Super Nintendo World.
Where do we start with this? Like,
I know. I'm
we want to draw them in for the big stuff, Roger.
Like I said, theme park news in general, I love. Like, I go to Disneyland all the time. Well, used to go to Disneyland all the time. See, this is what I'm talking about. I used to go to Disneyland all the time. I would do annual trips to Disney World. I love theme parks in general. And the one big thing that I took away, not only from this direct, but from everything we've been hearing about Nintendo World for all these years, is that, let's be real, Universal is more in line with the 3D screen experience type rides than they are with practical effects. And from the get-go, Miyamoto has said, and I've disagreed with a lot of things of modern Miyamoto. I've disagreed with Star Fox Zero. I've disagreed with the path that Paper Mario has taken. But his idea of wanting to go really practical with the stuff in Nintendo World is right up my alley. I think this is the way to do it, because ultimately, what's going to bring you to a theme park with Nintendo games if everything's virtual? Stay at home, sit on your couch, and play Nintendo games. And the way that Miyamoto and the Universal team has breathed life into Nintendo World, just in the little bits that we saw here, in the details of the food at Toad's Cafe, it's phenomenal. I cannot wait to go.
I'm excited. My only regret is I just really wish there was a Kirby attraction, like a Kirby sub area. Yeah. I want a real life Kirby experience, but no. I mean, obviously, I'm very excited about this, and we only saw a small segment of what Super Nintendo World has to offer.
It was weird how little they actually showed. It was more about the interactivity of the park, and that was, to be fair, that was always one of my bigger questions about how that all works, and we still don't really know what that gets you, other than, like, I was kind of curious what this whole boss fight with Bowser Jr. actually is.
Yeah.
But the interaction, like that shell going back and forth in the pipe and having to get timing,
cool.
that's
Awesome.
really cool.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of minigame they might have for the sleeping piranha plant, that could be really cool.
love that.
The having the artwork when you come in through the pipe right there for Bob-omb Battlefield. Yes.
Even the things they're doing with perspective, right? Where like they know people are going to want to take Instagram photos. So on one hand, they have like the the small area where you could take it and you look mini, and then the other area where you stand up close to the camera. But because of the way the hallway is being angled, it looks like you're giant. So I think that's really, really cool. Yeah.
The one thing that just smacks of not wasted potential because it was two different eras, but there are a million reasons I miss Street Pass. But if Street Pass is still around, imagine what the way they could incorporate it into Super Nintendo World. Like that would
I could definitely see
I
Street
really
Pass
wish there
having
was
a bit of a
Street
resurgence.
Pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
could see
really
people
wish there
bringing
was a
the
Street
3DSs.
Pass thing on Switch. Like even if it wasn't
Yes.
called Street Pass, just something similar.
Really,
And,
it's almost weird they didn't
yeah.
put it on their phones.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
if they want
that
people
too.
to use the app. No, I'm not using that app unless I'm QR coding for Animal Crossing. There's no other reason
Right.
I use that app. So if they were to add Street Pass to it, I would totally open it up all the time and sync it with my, with my Switch. We also don't have themes and folders though, so I think there's a couple
True.
of things we need to.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed that food, and they had some weird flavors. Like you talked about when we were DMing each other, Roger.
That's
You
right.
were all about that peach popcorn. The mushroom popcorn, though, I'm not sure.
It's
I like
caramel,
mushrooms.
So it's caramelized peach. It's caramel peach popcorn
Yeah.
flavor, and the other
That
one
could
is
be better,
mushroom
yeah.
flavor. Yeah. And the
That is
mushroom
the one that grosses me out.
I'm like, how the heck are they going to make that good? But then I thought about it, and there's actually a salted truffle popcorn that's at the parks in Japan that's real good. So I think that'll most likely be like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I have my popcorn bucket from Disney Sea over here too. So
That's
pulled it up
amazing.
during my live stream.
Nice.
So.
That was amazing.
I wish I could say-
I love that.
I wish I could say I like mushrooms. I actually find them to be incredibly gross. So that may
Oh,
not be the
no.
Super Mario Cafe.
That's
Might not be
not
the best.
good.
But speaking of Kirby, that would be another thing that'd be perfect. A Kirby Cafe. Kirby's
Yes.
known for food
Oh,
items.
yeah.
Of course.
That
Like
has
I
to
want
be.
a Kirby. Yeah, I want like a Kirby strawberry shortcake parfait thing
They
that I
do.
can eat. You know,
They have
yeah.
the Kirby Cafe in Japan. It's a standalone, and
They
obviously you have to
do.
make
It is-
reservations a long way out, but it's incredible.
Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
go so badly because I've been to like most of the other video game themed cafes in Japan, but not
Yeah.
Kirby, and I want to go so badly.
And there's just so many cool things that are just hidden in the background of this area as well. Like something that wasn't shown off in this, but that I've seen photos of because people have been taking pictures and videos and stuff of just the park under construction is the thwomp. So you can kind of see it in the little brief snippet of the video where you see the Yoshis going by. But when the thwomps fall, outside, this little tuft of smoke sort of shoots out from the bottom of the ground.
Oh my
So it
gosh.
looks like they're landing and creating debris.
I love that.
That's
It's
amazing.
minor things like that that just you see how much love and passion Miyamoto and the team at Universal have for this project, and I have complete faith it's going to be a ton of fun. I mean, the inside of the queue line at Mario Kart, like where you see all the different trophies and like the glowing, flickering candles and the giant statue of Bowser, the practical carts where you have the AR where you're seeing the items. Oh, it's amazing.
It's one of those things. It really captures you getting enveloped in this world, which they've thankfully gotten good at thanks to Harry Potter.
Yes.
And this just seems to take it up a next level. I even though I've not experienced Harry Potter myself, so I don't know how it compares
you should.
precisely.
Like, it literally feels like you're walking onto the movie set when you enter Hogwarts. It's really impressive what they've built with that.
So I think the best
in relation to
sign
that
for Harry Potter 2 is that I don't like Harry Potter at all. I've never liked Harry Potter, but I go to that world and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, they've done an awesome job with the layout of the Harry Potter world. So yeah, I mean, this goes right in line with all of that.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is a complete aside. My wife and I both love Harry Potter, but she who shall not be named is making it as hard as possible
exactly
to keep loving Harry Potter.
She's doing her best to make you hate it, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is.
She should not be named.
I know, that's a great title.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
God. Speaking of Harry Potter and how that all is done, you said there's interactive elements, which of course Nintendo has for Super Nintendo World. Those lines for interactivity are probably going to be pretty bad. And I don't know how they're going to handle that.
I mean, that goes back to what you were talking about earlier with the POW block and the Koopa thing. Like, that's actually really cool, but that type of stuff was probably the least interesting thing to me, because I know when I'm going to the park, what it's going to end up becoming, and I don't know if it's lined up where you have to scan in with your band to even start the whole process, but then, like, if you also need to scan out with the same band, what I'm imagining is going to happen if they don't have it where it's not the same scan in, scan out thing, is that one person is going to scan their Magic Band or Mario Band or whatever they call it. They're going to actually do the minigame, and then a bunch of kids are going to flood in and then scan to get whatever the reward is. So I really want to know more of the process of scanning in and scanning out and what that means for the park in general.
Yeah. I feel like there needs to be definitely queue lines even for that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't just walk up to it like Miyamoto did, because it just seems
not quite
chaos.
Well, even the photo op areas even too. I think with the warp pipe and everything, all of those things are going to have queue lines.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. We got to do a GVG plus RogersBase trip to.
I mean, you're just.
Japan.
I mean, you're talking about having Ant and Fushi in there too.
Inside
So
Baseball, I don't know how much of this you've been following. Like Inside the Magic's done a bunch of stuff on this too. Is that apparently Universal in Hollywood is opening second now. So they didn't announce this during the Direct.
Yeah,
the Hollywood
I've heard about
one
this.
is. It used to be that Orlando was going to open first.
Right.
Now Orlando has been delayed to 2023. At the earliest.
I didn't know that.
I mean, that's Florida for you.
So what's happening right now, according to all the rumor mills, is that we're getting this at the end of next year. That they never stopped construction despite COVID in California. They've continued construction.
Nice.
So we're most likely still getting this at the end of next year. At least like a soft launch opening or a preview opening at the end of the year, leading into a full like actual launch at the beginning of 2022. And, I don't know what travel is going to be like next year. We're kind of up in the air. But
I'm hoping by next summer at least.
Right. So I'm hoping that by next summer, at the end of next year, if that is when this opens in Hollywood, we're good to go. Now, the thing is, Hollywood, we're getting all this Mario stuff that is happening in Japan. But we're also getting Donkey Kong. And Orlando is apparently getting Mario, Donkey Kong, and Zelda. And on top of all of this, there's a very prominent rumor going around that they are also sitting on a Pokemon Snap ride for Kids Zone. What used to be Kids Zone for Woody Woodpecker, with like a little bit of Pokemon integration. So if that's the case, like there's going to be way more Nintendo stuff coming in the next couple of years beyond just Mario. It's just a matter of when they're going to end up launching it.
Dang, Kai's only going to be 3 years old.
Well, hopefully, by the time the Hollywood location opens, GVG will be big enough to get a press preview invite.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, Roger, you and I can go hit up.
I'm here for it.
Let's hit up Hollywood together. Hell yeah!
Oh man,
I just do the soft launch press intro. We'll go do Hollywood. I'll do IRL streams. It'll be great.
Hell yes!
I want to experience it so much. It'd be so much fun. Like the merch looks fun. Like all those silly little hats and stuff. They have, of course, have the specialty thing that you can only get there. Which,
of course,
that sounds about right.
The Mario toy is super cute too because it dates back to sort of like the origins of Nintendo with the specialty toys that we're making. Where he mentioned specifically, it doesn't need batteries. You just drag it with the little Koopa thing, and that's super nice. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. I do want to try. I need to go back and I haven't had time, but I want to go back and actually look at all the food because all those meals looked really good.
Because we did this live. We zoomed in, we enhanced, we looked at
everything.
Nice. That's amazing.
There's a Koopa steak that's there where you see a Koopa shell on the back of it that they didn't show. When you zoom in, it's the portion where they're flipping around the menu and Miyamoto's walking in. So you can see a Koopa shell steak. There's an omu rice that's shaped like the star next to what looks like a hamburger patty or something. There's some type of Mario parfait item that's in the bottom right-hand corner. And then there's another one where I don't really know what it is. It looks like it could be some type of meat or it could be some type of potato dish. But there's something with a flag and Mario jumping on the flag there as well. So those are the 4 items that they didn't actually focus on. So I'm curious when we're going to see more of that. Yeah.
By the way, what a great idea to incorporate the Japanese way of just ordering your food through buttons and then having the chefs prepare it and then having all the toads there preparing it. You can actually see inside them inside doing cooks because there's going to be mishaps and stuff. That's going to be a fun screen to watch.
Absolutely.
I really hope
Absolutely.
that, because I feel like the specially prepared themed food is more of a Japanese thing. So I hope that is
Yeah.
carried over in full
I will
to
riot.
the
Don't you
Western
worry.
versions.
I might be a Nintendo brand ambassador. I will riot. I will make it known.
Nice. Okay.
We need to find some
We
way to
need
make
the
that happen.
specialty food.
Because
Yeah.
I
Like,
can't imagine
seriously.
they're going to get rid of that, though. I mean, that's I think a huge driving point, especially now because there's only 2 rides, that people are going to need something else to do. And because Toad's Cafe is such a big portion of it, I really can't imagine they wouldn't bring that over stateside.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you can at least get butterbeer at the Harry
That's
Potter
right.
World. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bring your butterbeer over.
Yeah. Perfect.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Butterbeer and a Canopio burger.
I'm down.
Yeah.
do you think they'll bring that stuff over, or do you think they'll just make American versions of that? Like the hamburger will probably survive, but I could
Sure.
see them doing more
The
American.
over rice probably isn't making it over. I think the pizza bowl probably will, like the mushroom pizza
Yeah, I
bowl
think so.
that looks like a
Yeah.
mushroom. I think the parfait probably will make it over. I think the Koopa steak will probably make it over too. But I think they'll make their own versions. I think
Yeah.
they'll localize it to the best of their ability.
It'd be amazing.
Just the
think what else
animatronics
they
are
showed.
still unreal. Like looking back at all the photos of like the little Goombas and the Koopas walking around on the Yoshi Adventure ride. And you also get to see in the video as well the cars that you ride in on the Yoshi Adventure ride, where you're literally on the back of a little Yoshi. And apparently that ride, we haven't seen the inside of it yet, I don't think, but it's more of a traditional dark ride alongside what you'd see at like a Disneyland. So think like Peter Pan's Adventure or Peter Pan's Flight or whatever it's called.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so it'll be something more along the lines of that. And you actually get to see the Yoshi cars when you walk out of the pipe. So you'll see people in them riding on the ride as you walk into Nintendo World. Womps are landing down on you and
Oh
piranha
my
plants are
gosh.
sleeping. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Do you have
you
any
say- it's
concerns
just
about
funny.
them?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask Roger if you have any concerns about them opening in February, because that is.
I mean, I don't live in Japan, so best of luck to them. But
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going.
Nope.
And I don't think we can travel. In
Not
the
that we
first place.
can,
Not
yeah.
that we even could. But even if we could, I wouldn't. I hope they stay safe. I'm sure they will. They even had the whole press early look at it a couple weeks ago, and everything was being sanitized and stuff. My main concern is the AR goggles that they put on, because everyone's going to be sharing those AR goggles. Apparently,
They're going to need to cleanse them each time, and
they're going to need to multi-sanitize those things before I even think about going on that ride. I mean, I could always just stick to going on the Yoshi ride and eating at the Toad Cafe for the first year, though. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I won't run the risk. Yeah.
It's funny, Roger, when you said Dark Ride, it just dawned on me. That's a Pokemon ride waiting to happen.
Well, that's
Dark
the one I was
Ride.
talking about. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
Dark Ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah,
Ride.
yeah.
That's waiting
Dark
to happen.
Ride. If they
But I
can
was
get a
gonna say, in terms
Pokemon.
of Dark Ride, the way that it's, the way those
Yeah.
are built, that is the
Yeah.
rumored
Right.
Pokemon Snap ride. Yeah, but Dark
Gotcha,
Ride,
gotcha.
The Dark Ride,
Yes.
Pokemon Snap Adventure. I'm here for
It's waiting to happen.
it. I'd love that. Yeah,
Well,
it's a
boys, we've
shame.
been recording for an hour and 42 minutes so far.
Yeah,
this
oh
is
my God,
This is a
whoa.
record.
We've
the record.
never gone this long, because usually we end off by this point, and Steve's already with food and whatnot. We usually have a post show by this point.
Well, I do not
So
need to
I
keep
think
you, so
it's
feel free.
probably. Oh no, it's cool. I think
No,
it's
it's been
probably
great.
time to call it, though, because
Sounds good.
yeah, this is a pretty lengthy one, and man, it was fun. It was really fun, and
Absolutely.
if this is somehow anybody's first experience with Roger, which I can't imagine why, Roger, where can they find you at?
Sure. You can find me at RogersBase on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram. I'm currently live streaming exclusively on Twitch because my YouTube stream is banned for 3 months. But I will be back on YouTube. I'm still uploading all of the VODs that I think people are interested in to YouTube as well. But yeah, RogersBase everywhere. Thank you again for having me. This is a blast. As soon as I saw
fun.
Brandon's episode, I'm like, oh my God, I got to jump in on one of these. And then it just so happened that everything worked out with
We
Sephiroth,
just knew
so.
the perfect timing.
It was the
That's
right
all
timing.
it was.
Yeah.
Well, and we'd love to have you back on any time, man. In
Oh,
fact,
of
maybe we
course.
should just make it a thing where when there's a new Smash character,
You
the
know
next
what?
TNT after that.
That sounds good. That sounds like a plan.
do it.
That way, when people are asking when's the next time Roger's going to be on, there you go. Boom.
Yeah,
Next
there you go.
There you
Smash
go.
character.
Have
That's
you,
it.
have you ready for Smash? I think that's a good idea.
I'm here for
Nice.
it.
But before we sign off, we of course have to give a special thanks to all of our patrons, whether you're a $1 backer to our highest backers. You're all amazing. Thank you so much. But of course, we have to give a special thanks to our patrons at the producer tier for helping to make this show happen. And of course, and in addition, a massive, massive thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine folks include Rob Arman X, Dan Entwistle, Z Patty, Adam O'Sullivan, Floating You, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kieran Phillips, Benny Yao, Rosa Bowling, aka Mama Bowling. We'll say that. Say hi, Mom Ash. There we go. Just imitate Steve.
Oh man. Hi, Mom. I don't even know how to do Steve's voice.
Geller, Shiny Turkey, Titus Malvolio, Jake Pelka, Michael Phone, Mitchell Herring, Jay Acosta, Game Explain, Charles Zaz, Andrew Medeiros, Jonathan Belmare, Kitty Kong Fax, Patrick Harrison, 112, Scott Barber, Evernight Studio, Rocks the Cat, Loyal Crevice, Azran127, Phantom 23, our newcomers, by the way. Our newcomers, Phantom 23, Sean Garrett, Shadow the Cat, and Guillaume Monet. Holy crap, that list is getting long.
Yeah, I love it.
I love the names. I was just having fun listening. I saw Kitty Kong Facts and I started laughing.
I know. Gotta love it.
DKC3, by the way, currently on Nintendo Switch Online. Just got added.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll put it out there. I was hoping to do it today, but kid stuff happened with John. I don't know whether it's going to be a separate video or stream, but John and I are going to be playing Donkey Kong Country 3 together.
Nice.
That's so fun.
That's the thing I've been teasing. So it should happen tomorrow. I don't know if my normal Twitch stream will be affected, but I'm going to find some way to play that with John so you can all see how that goes. So as far as a time frame, it really depends on John and how we can all make it work. So we'll figure out something. But remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can watch Today's News Tonight live for as little as $5 a month. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. Excellent times like these, really. This was a lot of fun. And until next time, good night, good vibes.
Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.